I'm your host, Donna Cates, and each week we'll dive into powerful stories, expert strategies, and practical tools to help you take charge of your financial future. Whether you're planning for retirement, navigating a divorce, or simply looking to build your wealth with confidence, this is your space to grow, learn, and thrive. Let's get started with today's podcast. Hello, everyone. I'm delighted to feature Ravit Rose, who's in Quebec, Canada, who is also with Iru's divorce community. I'm delighted to have you here today. We've crossed paths before because we both work in the divorce space. But Ravit, I would love it if you could just give us maybe a 90-second overview of what it is you do and why you got into that work.
So the real reason I got into the divorce industry is because of my suffering my own divorce. I got divorced about 14 years ago, thought it was going to be easy, turned out to be extremely litigious, spent over 100 grand in legal fees to finally understand this is nothing but a game. A game that I didn't understand and neither does anybody else. So it kind of led me into trying to research and understand this industry and why and how and what is going on. So I authored my book, became a divorce coach, opened a divorce app, and now we have the Iru's divorce community, which serves parents across US and Canada. And the idea here is to understand this divorce industry and solve the particular pain points that we see.
That is so fabulous and so needed. And I can tell you, I totally relate to the $100,000 plus divorce. And that's part of the work that I do a lot. And I'm sure you do as well, with educating people on how to be less litigious so that we're not wasting money, on the divorce process. Well, tell me a little bit more about your divorce community and what makes you unique in the way that you help others.
So really, we're customer focused. So we focus working with parents, particularly across the U.S. and Canada as well. And we're really studying human behavior. We're trying to find the exact niche of what is, what is the main reason why people are divorcing? What are the main pain points going on? What makes someone go from normal to crazy, from reasonable to unreasonable? We also offer, self-assessments, and we're working with doctors and psychologists to do that. And we're really trying to understand the exact pain points and then providing solutions. So the solution can be through our divorce directory, where we basically connect parents with professionals who are non-litigious, who are heart-centered, amicable resolution oriented, and to help the families to divorce what we call amicably, whatever that looks like, and be able to move forward in life.
Oh, that is so awesome. And it so resonates with me and my practice. It's like we got to quit the fighting and just be more amicable. I often refer to it as pulling up your big girl britches or your big boy britches. We just got to, do what we've got to do. So that's awesome. Well, tell me, I know you're growing and you're out there on social media all over the place, but tell me, where do you see your specific industry going in the next 5 to 10 years? And how are you staying on top of that?
So the industry is changing on a regular basis. A lot of what we do is following the stream of wherever the people are going. So within 5 years, I see us doing probably a lot more AI, as it seems to be the thing to do. I'm not sure that the AI industry is fully ready for it right now, or that human beings are ready for it right now. But we constantly adapt ourselves to the industry, to changes, to modifications, and always trying to improve.
Well, one of the things that you said that I love about the work that you do, you're not just out there telling people how to get divorced. You're literally doing the research to find out all of the pain points, like you said, and being able to reach out to people and offer them solutions. So that's tremendous. And I know that even divorce laws change periodically, so it's just keeping up with the legal law changes is huge. Well, I would love to hear, and I know a little bit about your personal story, but I would love to hear what your biggest failure or challenge has been that you faced up to this point in your life, and how that shaped the business that you're doing now.
So I think the greatest challenge I had is that I played victim for the first many years of my divorce, and I didn't know that I was doing that. Little did I know that, this was a game that was like carefully but not so carefully crafted, right? Because it's a lawyer who has a lot of experience, has done this many times before, and I thought it was personal. And I kept asking myself, why me? What did I do? And I was like questioning God and the universe and myself and saying, how is it possible that I landed on this? Like, how is it possible that it happened? Until I finally started doing the research for my book and realizing that I'm not the only one going through this, and I'm not the only one feeling this, and I'm not the only one experiencing this, because that's how it goes. That's how it works. So when I started changing my dynamic with how I was feeling and how I was accepting the situations in front of me, everything started to change. I started representing myself. I got rid of the lawyers. I said, like, what's the point? Not like the lawyers could do anything. I could probably do it. And if I can't, whatever the universe wants to happen will happen. So I started believing in that and starting taking more control. And when I started taking more control and being less victim oriented, I started empowering myself more. And I think that is one of the greatest lessons that I learned, that could have destroyed me in many ways. And it really was going down the path of total and complete destruction until I literally just flipped it all around. And I see how it affects people on a regular basis. I see how it destroys their mental well being. And it's not supposed to. It's not supposed to be about that. Divorce is supposed to be about you and me just don't get along. Let's get divorced and go our own ways. It's not supposed to be let's completely annihilate one another. But that's what it's turned out to be, unfortunately.
And the legal system seems to perpetuate that every opportunity that they get. Not all of the time, but a lot of times. And a couple of things that you said that really resonated with me was how you were in the role of victim and how that kind of stopped you. And I'll say kudos to you for being able to recognize that and saying, oh my gosh, I've got to do something differently. You took the rein by the horns and just literally said, "Hey, I've got to do something different." So that's awesome, and so empowering to women. In the book that you've written, I'm confident that that helps people understand that they're not alone. So tell us just a little bit about that book and how it's making a difference in the universe.
So, really, the book came out at the beginning as a source of emotional dumping. It was trying to figure out what was going on in this space. And I have a couple of chapters that are specific to Quebec, but and more about the laws and about collaborative laws and different options that we have instead of going out and litigating. But we've expanded. So we don't just stay with Quebec. We're actually covering more the US than we are Canada these days. And what it does is that it helps people understand that you're not the only one experiencing this, and your divorce is not as bad as you think it is. Because when you compare yourself to other people who have that experience or other experiences, you're like, oh, okay, so it kind of normalizes it. When you feel like you're the only person on the planet who's dealing with this terrible, horrible person and this and that and all of that, then you start to feel like you are too special, and you're not. And the important thing is to understand is this is a game, it's a system. It works in the same way. Your pain may look different from my pain because you sort of filter your emotions differently than I do. But at the end of the day, the actual situations are going to be identical to you, me, and anyone else across the US and Canada. So it doesn't really matter. And that's something that I'm trying very hard to help people understand, that it's part of the process, whether it's part of the grieving process or it's part of the legal game process. It all happens for a reason, and you need to show up and evolve and be a mature, sane, and reasonable version of yourself so that you fully understand what's happening, and then you could actually deal with the actual root cause of what's happening rather than sort of sitting and festering in the emotions and the looping sagas and the dramas that are meant to do nothing but drag you down.
I so know that this is going to resonate so well with our audience. I can feel, what you're expressing. I would love to know if you could have lunch with one person, either living or dead, who would that be and why?
Hmm. It would probably be someone from who's really highly regarded in the self-development world. And the reason is because, and I've got several people in mind. The reason is because I believe that divorce is not supposed to be the end of you. It's actually a golden opportunity to rebuild and restructure your life the way you want it to be. So I see it as like a gift, like a really good version of midlife crisis where you could start over in your mid 40s, 50s, whatever age that is, and structure it really particularly. So I think that, and I truly believe that the wave of the future is going to be to evolve, grow, transform, and self develop. So working with those people, more spiritual people, I think is going to be the wave of the future as well. So those are the people I'd like to meet with.
Oh, that sounds so awesome and so impactful. So I'd love for you to tell me a little bit about the work that you do as a divorce coach, because I know not everybody comes in the space that you're describing. So is this what you help people with if they should choose to work with you as a divorce coach?
So divorce coach is my profession where I started this entire, getting me into the industry. Right now, I consider myself more of a divorce scientist and the founder of the IRU's community. So I'm focused more on the overall aspect and creating action plans for individuals. So any parent, whether they're contemplating divorce or separated or in the divorce process and they can't seem to find their way out and they're sort of stuck, can come to me, and we basically have a strategy call, and then I create them an action plan, and I help them understand who are the right professionals to go to, when and how to use them, instead of thinking that that badass lawyer is the only go-to person that you need, or a therapist is the only person. So as a divorce coach, I understand what the difference is between coaching and therapy. I can help them to understand what kind of coach they can go to, because there are variations of divorce coaches. I can help them myself, or I could also refer them to other individuals. So my job is really right now is to connect the two worlds together. The parents who are having a hard time and feeling stuck with the professionals who have the experience and the wisdom and the know-how and are really heart-centered, who can help them find solutions and move forward in life.
And I love the idea of being a connector, because that's the thing is if when we're in this space, we don't know what we don't know, and we
Yeah,
don't know the type of help that we need. So that really is
exactly.
important. And we don't have to go it alone. I think that's the big message, is that there are people out there that specialize in all the things that we need when we're going through that transition. Well,
Absolutely.
I want you to share with us how people can find you, where they're going to go to connect with you when they need your help.
So iRooze.com. IROOZE.com is the best place to go. You could reach out to me there. You can DM us, anything like that. We have a whole resource of articles and videos and that are very well sought after. You can go and have a look at those, read those. The directory is free for also you to use at any time, 24/7. You're waking up in the middle of the night. You have something on your mind. Go in, take a look, read around, see who's in your state, in your county, who's available in your province as well. And then always feel free to reach out to us through the self-assessment. And that's where we do more one-to-ones. And we don't charge for the self-assessment. So we're very delighted to meet anybody at any time.
That is so awesome. I can't wait to let my universe know about your work. And especially when you say that it's free, because everybody's already freaking out because they're
Yeah.
spending so much money on attorneys. So
Yeah.
this is a good place to get started.
Yeah,
Awesome.
everything we do is to help the people reduce the emotional pain and reduce the legal costs and reduce the time that it takes to divorce. So, in an effort of doing that, our job is to make sure that you don't go spending that crazy amount of money and emptying out your kids' college fund in order to divorce.
Love it. Love everything about this. And thank you so much, Ravit, for being with us today. I appreciate you so much. I hope today's conversation left you feeling inspired, informed, and ready to take the next step in your financial journey. Remember, building wealth isn't just about money, it's also about creating a life that aligns with your goals and values. If you found this episode valuable, please subscribe, leave a review, and share it with the women in your life who deserve financial empowerment too. Until next time, stay confident, stay empowered, and keep building the life you desire.